What's up everybody, welcome to Money Management channel. My name is Andrei and today I'm gonna be doing an update on MMTLP and FINRA saga.
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed, born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up.
And for today's video guys, I have basically just three news. I will explain you some details in regards to the most recent actions that happen in our community. And I have to do it based on my experience. And I have to do it because I am completely unbiased in this case. Then I will show you an investigation into Gary Gensler, and I will show you what questions do we have to ask him in order to receive a proper answer to push our case forward. And at the end of this video, I will show you some announcement of new video that explains the actions of authorities that leads to our current status. So, and before we dive deep into all of this, guys, please hit the like button for YouTube algorithm and drop me a line in the comment section if you think my videos are valuable for you. And I want to start my today's video with the tweet that was written by Mark Basile. And Mark wrote this tweet in regards to the most recent actions that happened right after the space call, where Mark and Anna Trades explained their position that is directly related to our entire saga. And you know that Busy Brands said that Mark Basile potentially stated that Greg McCabe has nothing to do with the MMTLP community, and his opinion of the solution is completely opposite, and it is not in line with the opinion of MMTLP community in general. But guys, take a look right here. So Southern Oracle 06 wrote this. Mark wouldn't make comments like that without being able to back this up. And Mark responded, that's 100% correct. Plus, direct witnesses, including my clients and staff. It's amazing the blowback damage control some of these social media shields hurl, especially when they have a personal and direct financial interest at stake outside of owning shares. I wonder how any of them can say with a straight face, of course, they are lying to the community, what the substance of any calls I have had with anyone unless they were on the phone. And they were not. I never said who my conversation were with, but I guarantee I had them. And during those conversations, I and we were told what the plan was. And that is why the exact words used were, your client's interests are not aligned with ours. Draw your own conclusions as to who may have said that. But for Busy and C-Plan to point to McCabe seems extremely defensive as well as alarming. Some community members may not like this, but it's provable and I intend on proving it in court, where evidence matters, not social media pontification and diatribe. You see, social media posters like the minions cannot control what is said in court proceedings, and that's one of the reasons why they said no lawsuits. But if anyone thinks Busy and C-Plan are right, why not ask the question on everyone's minds? What are the plans? Also, another implied lie to the community. I'm not under any NDA. And as an attorney, I would never sign one. And guess what? Everyone's NDA is out the window if I subpoena them as well as take their deposition, especially if it's being used to cover up a potential crime of fraud. I know many of the posters feel they are untouchable, but this is a long journey and eventually we may get around to them as well. Maybe they can file an amicus brief supporting FINRA's and TradeStation's motion, so the info the community seeks never gets out. They did hire a lawyer, didn't they? One last thing, I would hate to have my law students embrace some of these narcissistic social media personalities in spaces. But if they want to prove a point, come to court and do so. That's the only place these issues will be debated, and that's the only place it will count. And guys, I have to say that in my opinion for now we have the most the most crucial point to have the resolution is through litigations. And for now, we have just two litigations on the table. One of them is a RICO lawsuit that was filed by Mark Basile, and a part of this lawsuit, the main plaintiff is Anna Trades. And the second lawsuit is another lawsuit that was filed by Scott Trott. And we have to count on these lawsuits because it is the most promising ways to have a resolution. On top of that, guys, I have to admit that it is not the quickest way. Definitely, some people might argue that they can contact Congress and Congress can issue a subpoena. But for now, we are almost 1 year inside this saga with the help, with the so-called help of Congress, but we didn't have any subpoenas yet. On top of that, guys, take a look what did due diligence write in response to this. He wrote, after thinking about it, this is what I think. Basile and Anna call McCabe. They tell McCabe what their plans are, and that in the end they want this to be resolved for everyone, according to the relief they are seeking, as stated by Basile on Paul's Space. McCabe says he's not going along with it because his interests are not aligned with Anna's interests. To me, that means that McCabe believes that whatever his plans are will yield a higher return for shareholders than whatever Basile and Anna are going after. According to Mark's own statement, Basile and Anna decided that Anna would pursue this claim alone after that conversation. Basile sticks all that not aligned with MMTLP shareholders' interests, etc. stuff in because he's butthurt and wants to cause trouble for McCabe. Listen to all of that on my previous tweet and call me if I'm not making sense somewhere. And guys, I have to say that in my opinion this statement is more like a speculations because he assumed that basically wait a second. That means he said that means that McCabe believes that whatever his plans are will yield a higher return for shareholders than whatever Basile and Anna are going after. Guys, this is a pure speculation. This is the phrase that a lot of MMTLP community members want to hear. But believe me, no one knows the exact amount of the payoffs that will be paid for the damages to MMTLP shareholders. And I have to say that for now we can just imagine how high these payouts might be, but it is not the case that we can use in the lawsuits that were filed by Mark Basile and Scott Trott. That is why, guys, it is just a speculation in my opinion, and we have to wait for the real numbers and for the real resolution in our case. That is why, guys, just stay calm, and definitely it is not the best information to hear, but we have to know everything in our case in order to make proper and the most efficient decisions. Next one, let me show you this tweet that was published by Marcus, and it is his investigation into Gary Gensler's actions, and let me quote you this in details. Watch the video in this thread, and by the way, he added the video of these depositions of Gary Gensler, and let me quote you further. Gary Gensler, chairperson, U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. As I'm researching and spending precious time away from my family and work, writing, studying, and taking notes about Gary Gensler after 20 months of expecting that our government will do something about the MMTLP fiasco, I started to rewatch the September 12, 2023 SEC Chair Gary Gensler testimony to Senator Mike Cropper regarding MMTLP during Senate Committee on Banking, Housing and Urban Affairs. What is fascinating is that even Senator Mike Cropper was in disbelief that Gary Gensler said what he said. Senator Mike Cropper phrased this question brilliantly, and Gary Gensler gave him the worst answer you could ever expect from a government agency with a core mission to protect investors. Senator Mike Cropper said, "Well, I don't know whether this question relates to you or FINRA or both. But investors have asked for aggregated audited share count for MMTLP and for the blue sheet data to ascertain whether MMTLP shares were subject to counterfeit and naked short selling, or have FINRA and the SEC analyzed MMTLP for any potential fraud or wrongdoing. Gary Gensler answered, "We seek to analyze fraud, wrongdoing, wherever it may be in our capital markets, and certainly we are well aware of these matters. But I can't speak about specific possible investigations or even confirm or deny whether we have them, because it protects the markets that, when we sometimes close an investigation and we don't find something." My question to Gary is, what market? And by the way, this is the comment from Marcus. My question to Gary is, what market? September 12, 2023, 9 months after the halt, there was no market for MMTLP. So which market are you protecting? The market makers. And again, the direct speech from Gary Gensler. But certainly we can follow up stuff about the specific questions about data. And here's the question from Marcus. Where is the data you just promised Mike Rappa, Gary Gensler? Did you follow up, Gary? And Senator Mike Rappa also said, "All right, I'm hearing you say, though I do believe I'm hearing you say that there could be an investigation underway, but you can't give a data about it. But if there is an investigation underway into these matters, and if that investigation finds answers, is that information not going to be made available to the public?" And Gary Gensler answered, "We only make information as a result of any investigation public, if we either settle or bring charges in a competent courts. And that really helps protect the public and protects individuals when we don't bring charges." And Mike Rappa said, "Well, then, how are investors and frankly Congress to know whether you have even undertaken such an investigation or whether such an investigation has resulted in any outcome?" Gary Gensler, trust me, bro, he said, again, part of, I think, the trust in our capital markets is being a cop on the beat. But also, when we close investigation that do not result in either litigation or settlement, that's really between those various registrants or market participants, that it's been closed and they have a right to say if it's been closed or not. Repeating, Gary Gensler just said, that's really between the registrants or market participants, public companies, brokers, market makers, financial institutions, insiders, etc. That's been closed and they have a right to say if it's been closed or not. And based on this answer, he never mentions investor protection. It's clear who the SEC is protecting. Crucial point. If the SEC doesn't disclose information about investigations, how can investors and Congress assess whether the government is effectively fulfilling its regulatory duties? How can they know if potential wrongdoing is being investigated and addressed? Little secret, it's not. 3. The SEC is not the cop on the beat. The cop on the beat actions are generally transparent and subject to public scrutiny. What transparency do they have? 4. MMTLP investors have been stonewalled in their attempts to obtain information about trading halt, the share count, and potential market manipulation. The SEC refusal to release information even about closed investigations, all of the distrust that has been generated, just further harms investor confidence in this system. 5. Gensler's trust me bro response is a disservice to investors and an affront to congressional oversight. And I have to say that it is crystal clear for me that Gary Gensler is hiding a lot of information and he doesn't want to disclose any of it, even in front of the Congress and under the oath. And he will do everything that he can in order to push, in order to kick this can down the road for as long as possible. And he's doing it quite successfully right now. Unfortunately, the only way how we can push our case forward, and I have to say that the most efficient way is through litigations. But from this side, FINRA and SEC have a total immunity, and we have to cancel at least part of this immunity. We have to show the judge that they use it unfair. They use this so-called superpower unfairly. That is why we have to collect as much data as we can through previous litigations, through FOIA requests, through depositions and other type of sources, and we have to bring it to the court. So let me show you another quite interesting tweet, and RareDD published it just several hours ago. He wrote, August 21st, 2024, the final video trailer for The Circle of Fraud Part 1. A retrospect on some of FINRA's new hires and promotions, in contrast to some of the names that have left within the time frame of TRCH, MMAT and MMTLP trading. It's longer than 30 minutes and the broker check sections might be boring, but when you look into the reputations of the firms that FINRA hires from, you get the sense that something is amiss. Starring Julie Jean, Tina Gap, Farrell Talib, and Jessica Hopper. Special appearances by Cameron Funkhauser, Ari Rubinstein, Christopher Kelly, the ghosts of Bear Stearns past, BNP Paribas, whom I mistakenly referred to as BNY Paribas at least once, and more coming soon. And guys, I have to say that this type of videos are extremely useful for the community, because it explains a lot of information in a quite interesting manner. And this might be useful not only for us, but for the people who has power, who are sitting, for example, in Congress and who don't know anything about our case, or who might push our case forward through the litigations. And definitely this might lead to attracting more attention to our case, and eventually it might lead to the resolution. And guys, let me tell you my personal story. I have a wife and 2 children aged 11 and 15, as well as a small dog. After 30 years of living in Russia near the Baikal Lake, we decided to move. Now we reside in Serbia. Although I don't own any MMTLP shares, I invest a lot of time creating daily MMTLP videos. I have been doing this every day without days off and holidays for more than 1.5 years. Now I wish to buy back this time from my family, from my children. We've agreed that I will ask the MMTLP community to support me, and I will give all the money to the children. Therefore, if you believe that I am providing useful content for you and wish to support me, you can join my Patreon account. For $5 a month, I will add your name to my list of supporters if you wish. Thank you in advance. The link you can find in the description below. So, I think that's all information that I want to provide you. If you like my video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel, and see you guys and girls next time. Bye!
I got the cash in the bag,